The border between Canada and the U.S. will remain closed to non-essential travel until at least February 21st. The extension was announced today as both countries continue to battle a fierce wave of the coronavirus. The restrictions were first put into place in mid-March of last year. And Richard Southern joins us for a look at the day's top business stories. And we begin with a look at how Canadians plan to spend their money in the midst of this pandemic. Richard.
So, Eric, it's kind of been a silver lining during the pandemic. For those of us lucky enough to have been able to keep our jobs, many have found that they got a few extra dollars hanging around at the end of the month. I mean, there's just not a lot to spend your money on. We're not going out to restaurants. We're not going out to bars. We're not traveling. You're just talking about the border closures. And so Canadians, some of them have found that they have more money hanging around. And the question is, what do they plan to do with that money? A new poll out today from Nanos found most will use it to pay down debt. Almost 40% of Canadians say they plan to get rid of some of their Visa debt or their mortgage or car debt. Only 11% say they plan on making a major purchase anytime soon. And that's actually bad news for the Canadian economy, Erica. Policymakers and economists were hoping that Canadians this year and into next year would start to spend some of that nest egg they've accumulated, and in turn that would boost the Canadian economy. That doesn't look like it's going to happen. But of course, it's always good on a personal level, I think, to pay down some of that debt, right?
Yeah, and I've been able to do that too. You realize how much you spend on other expenses when you can't do that anymore. So
yeah, it's true. It's true. Like, I was spending that much going out on a Friday night. Oh my goodness, yeah.
Man. All right, a highly anticipated condo development here in Toronto has undergone a redesign, and not everyone is happy with the final result, Richard.
Yeah, I'm going to show you the rendering. This is the Mervish Gary condos that are supposed to go up on King West. They were initially going to be 3 condos. Now they're 2. You know what people are saying they look like here, Erica?
What's
is a big cheese grater.
Okay, I guess I can see that. Sure. Yeah.
The big microplanes.
Interesting thought.
This is, and the other big story here is that not only have they reduced the number of condos that they're going to build on King West, but they were going to demolish the Princess of Wales Theatre as part of this development. That has been called off, so the Princess of Wales Theatre will survive. These 2 condos are going to be sandwiched between the Royal Alex Theatre and the Princess of Wales Theatre. So a couple of big cheese graters perhaps coming to the city.
Cheese grate condos, yeah. I've seen many concerts also at the Princess of Wales, so I'm glad it's sticking around a little bit.
Great spot.
Yeah. One of Donald Trump's biggest lenders is turning its back on the U.S. president.
Deutsche Bank says, or reportedly, according to the New York Times, is done with the U.S. president, will not lend him any more money. Deutsche Bank is Trump's biggest lender, with about $340 million in loans outstanding to the Trump organization. Deutsche, though, reportedly set to cut off ties in the wake of Trump's supporters' assault on the U.S. Capitol. Reports are that Trump has a lot of money in loans coming due in the next year or two. It's not clear how much personal exposure, though, he has to all that red ink.